a lot about what I learned like on the job about poverty, but I didn't talk much about my personal learning. So I thought I would try to get a little bit more personal this time. But I'm going to use some cards to keep me guided because I have found I do sometimes ramble. But here we go, everybody. First of all, thank you for being here. It is an honor to be able to speak to a room full of people and listen to what I have to say. And thank you for Team ACE for having me as a fellow, those ACE people in the room. And thank you, Sandy, for being my co-fellow. It's been a wonderful experience. There's Team ACE people in the other room. And the program managers, and thank you, visitors from St. Vincent de Paul. You guys have been very supportive. But so listen to what Kelly and Tiffany and I have to say. But I'm just going to get into I have 5 points, and I'll try not to take too long with each point. But the first one is related to St. Vincent de Paul and how I have not been a member of the religious majority, but last year I didn't think as much about that. I was just trying to learn about the job. But this second year, I looked more about the values and mission of the organization, which is a wonderful organization, St. Vincent de Paul. But I'm not part of the majority, but I've learned more about Catholics in particular and Christians in general through St. Vincent de Paul, my coworkers, and some of the allies who identify as Christian. And I must confess I used to have some stereotypes. I'm not from a Christian family, and I've had some stereotypes about what Christians believe and what I'm told they're supposed to believe. And talking with everybody, I've learned to be more inclusive and ask people, oh, what do you believe? And not assume. So I hate to say I had to learn that lesson, but there's a great diversity of opinions at St. Vincent de Paul and a lot of different kinds of energy. And I've really appreciated talking with Bob, who was very generous with his time and his car driving me home. And we had a lot of great conversations. It's been great working with my co-fellow Sandy, who is a strong Christian, and she and I have been able to be co-fellows on our Team ACE. And so basically that was a big lesson for me. Well, number 2, I learned that I can be a leader, or I can lead, and that's the motto of Public Allies, everybody leads. But it was not, I didn't feel that was an automatic fit for me because I don't see myself as a leader usually. I feel like I'm a pretty laid-back guy, live and let live, people, you can just do what you want. But with the team project, we had to help lead it, and I thought, well, I better try to do my job. Then I thought I did it a little too much because we had to set agendas, and then during the team meetings, I felt like I try to have the team follow the agenda, like word for word, like, oh, this thing takes 10 minutes, or this thing takes 20 minutes, so guys, we have to take this whole time, and I'm sorry. But after a few months, me and Sandy realized we need to let up a little bit. If they don't want to talk about this thing anymore, we need to stop. And if they're not interested in this topic, we planned ahead, but we don't need to force what's going on in the moment. So, similar to my cards, I should follow my notes, like what Adrian said in the room there. He's got his notes, but if it doesn't feel right to say it in the moment, you don't need to say it. So same with the agenda. Same with being a leader. You try to plan ahead. And also, just like we've said in Public Allies, you want to step up sometimes if you feel you've not made a point that you need to make. And then step back if you feel you've been talking too much. And being in the position of a leader, I feel like I've had to sit back a lot more than I expected. You don't need to direct everything, but try to give constructive criticism. But it's a learning process that will continue, I'm sure. Learned how to be, number 3, this is point number 3. Learned how to be more personal with clients that we work with at St. Vincent de Paul. I guess sometimes I think about things in an abstract way. I study philosophy at UC, and I just think about concepts a lot of times. And at work, I often think about processes and how can this process be more efficient. But I've been looking at some of my coworkers and some of the other allies, and they sometimes take their work home with them. They think about the clients at home, or they may go the extra mile for a client, and they're not just thinking about what is our regular process, but they're thinking, what is a creative way that I can do something for this client or this family. And you know, I feel maybe occasionally I've gone the extra mile, but I've really been inspired by different people sitting here, or other coworkers and other allies, and I can go the extra mile. It's not just a process. I need to be more personally invested in this person. Maybe there's a boundary. You don't want to take everything home with you, but you know, I'm trying to be a little more emotional, a little more. Maybe it's about letting my guard down. You know, being afraid of breaking that boundary, but I think it does need to be broken just a little bit for me. And yeah, like I said, like trying to invest a little more time in people, realizing this is real lives we're talking about. It's not just a job. Well, point number 4, how to appreciate others better. I feel like maybe I'm a supportive person sometimes, but I've learned a lot from my coworkers at St. Vincent de Paul and some of the allies. I really appreciated, first off, the baby shower that you all did for me at St. Vincent de Paul. It was an amazing surprise. That was my first, that I've heard of, that there was a baby shower for Dad. And it was amazing. I thought, wow, these people really care about me at this place, and very supportive environment. And what else? Well, there's somebody at work who always makes sure when a birthday's coming up, they always have the birthday cards laid out in the copy room. Everybody signs them. I mean, it used to seem like, oh, that's just something we do automatically, but it's really a great thing, because when you get that card when it's your birthday, it's really a wonderful thing to have, and you leave it on your desk, and sometimes you look at it and say, oh. So I've just learned how to be more supportive from paying closer attention. There's been a coworker who was sick recently, and people have put together a basket of things. She was not sick. She's taking care of her sick husband, and she's been out of work for like a couple weeks. And just the care to put this basket together and deliver it to her is touching. And I just want to try to carry that lesson with me and see if I can do some of those kind of gestures in my life. So, and somebody else at my work gave me a subscription to a magazine, which has really been sustaining me with the different wisdom in this magazine, and just I need to do these things for others as well. Well, then I have number 5. I was complaining about the world, and as I often sometimes do. And she said, well, why don't you do something? Because I think she was getting tired of what I was talking about. And I was like, wow, do something. What is doing something? What is taking action? I didn't really ask that question much before. So now I'm asking the question. I don't think I learned too much yet about what it is, because I thought talking and having conversations was action in itself. I think it still is, but I'm asking the question more like, if you care about social justice issues, what do you do? How do you take action? I've been with the Sustainability Committee. Hopefully at St. Vincent de Paul that is some kind of environmental action. As far as my future, I will be studying to be a paralegal. Hopefully I'll be able to take some action in that capacity. And I'm trying to help with the Preschool Promise. Once I'm finished with this program, maybe I'll have some more time to devote to that. Preschool Promise is going to be awesome. And also being inspired by some stuff locally that's going on, like the Preschool Promise, the Amos Project. It's an interfaith social justice group in the city. And the HELP program, which is with St. Vincent de Paul as well, with Reentering Citizens. Just paying attention to some of the work that's going on. There's one book that's really cool for inspiration. It's called The Soul of a Citizen. It's got real small stories about these actions that people are taking. It's not like you don't have to be a big celebrity. Just little things that people have done in their work or in their individual life that has been a big impact in their local area or in somebody's life. So trying to step away from some of all the pessimistic news that's going on, but try to focus on what people have done in the past and what they are doing now. So I'm going to wrap up because it's about time. Thank you again, everyone. St. Vincent de Paul, Public Allies, all the people in this room. And I was going to say, I know we don't need a huge reunion in the future with a disco ball or a DJ and pizza and drinks. It doesn't have to be that big a deal. But I would hope that we will stay in touch somehow or other with, don't cry, Jason, with just a phone call or a text or email, because like Adrian Wilson was saying in the other room, we are a good inspiration to each other, and I'm going to miss everybody because we're going to be out of this space very shortly, and it is a good energy to be in this group, so let's just keep it alive.